Ladies and gentlemen, presenting you the second of the two top 4 matches here. 4 fierce competitors have made it to the stage of Deluxe, and one has already been set sail for the finals. And now, we're going to figure out who else will be making it to the illustrious final stage of Deluxe. Will it be Heroes up in the top corner bearing the red gloves being wielded by Duck? Or will it be the Dragon of the Karmic Flames, Drajeweled, being wielded by his avatar Michijewel, down in the bottom corner bearing the blue gloves? This is a match that is quite volatile. We see one that is all about speed and the other one being about the late game burst of unrivaled potential. And so we have with us a battle of opposites, but the opposites, as is with customary in this tournament, it seems like they're opposites in different ways as we go from game to game here. And this one is really going to say which one is key. Is it speed or is it power? With me today, I have Arxel as co-commentator. What do you have to say about this match so far, Arxel?
This is definitely honestly one of the biggest top sets I think we are going to see in that we've seen all throughout the top 16. We have the underdog Duck and the dark horse Michijewel, 2 players who came almost out of nowhere in the server. Michijewel, who joined, I believe, the server a week before Deluxe even began, and immediately made his presence known with his tried and true Drajeweled Deck, being, as we mentioned throughout this tournament, just the second coming of Michiru, the little embodiment of the anime character itself. And Duck actually being very kind of like a background character of the server, but the moment, and also not being familiar with the hero strategy, but you gave him the deck, we gave him a couple days to prepare for qualifiers, and here we are now, a month and a half later, in the top 4, 1 match away to being in the Grand Championship of Deluxe.
An underdog and a dark horse is a great way to put it. Both of these players really embody that it isn't just about the deck, it's about the pilot, and their piloting has been almost flawless up until this point, having to sustain almost 0 losses. They're both X1 in this entire tournament, if you consider the qualifiers as well. Impressive scores, might I say. But we're going to see what happens when they have to clash together, because, again, this is speed versus power, which is going to prove to be the deciding factor. We're about to find out. And now, it's time. Stand up, za Vanguard.
Vanguard.
Okay. And it looks like Michijewel gets the first draw. Now, maybe it's just a joke at this point that I bring this up, but it's impactful who gets to go first here. And this time it goes to Michijewel, which is quite nice, because if there was one matchup where he needed to go first, it was going to be this one, because heroes have a very high bell curve when they get to go first, because they can keep attacking repeatedly on a grade 2 base, right? But now they're gonna have to deal with the fact that they're going to be a little bit hamstrung against a 13k base when Dragel tries to grade 3. Okay, so they're discarding Darnia to ride into Basile. Okay, interesting. So that means they probably have another base searcher here. So if you're discarding Darnia, that like immediately, it means you've got a good hand. There's no 2 ways about it. That card is quite mission critical for the early rush potential of heroes. Now Basile's gonna go grab a base, which, I mean, my money's on the grade 1 as it's always been, because what else would you grab in this instance? There it is. Now, between the 2 fights thus far, and a note to the audience that the players will be mostly silent as they play out their games due to different circumstances. You know, so think of it a lot as the Drajeweled buff saga of the game, right? So while we're seeing them pass the time here, and it looks like Basile's going in for 8, and that's a no guard, so Michijewel's just taking right away, and appears to be a whiffed heal. Unfortunate for heroes here, but it is as it is. Damage checking to Tizkar though, so that's not going to be a serviceable discard for turn. Now, what do you think about like this matchup so far, right? The fact that we now know that Drajeweld gets to go first. Do you think like things are going to be better for Drajeweld, or do you think it doesn't quite matter?
I think it actually does favor Drajeweld a lot more, because being able to go first means not only do you get to do your grade 3 gaming first, but also means that you're actually able to get to Ignis in a way a little bit faster before heroes can get the ball rolling. And the more Ignis turns you have to deal with for a hero deck, the less likelihood you're going to be to survive. Because eventually the Dragel turns, as we've seen in past matches though, the longer the match goes, the inevitability factor that kind of starts to kick in when it comes to Ignis, and just being able to continuously burst you down with the 15k power to the front row, the extra critical, your Vanguard being at 0. So right now it's going to be, once we get to grade 4, the clock is going to start taking on that inevitability. How about you?
Well, I am trying to look at how this game is progressing. I think a lot of this is going to come down to how much Dragel will be able to hold off this offense right here. So right now, the grade 2s are going up against like a grade 2 body, right? That's what it is when they're going second. So they can still do a bit of damage here. So if it depends, because I suspect heroes open quite well, and if that's the case, then they're going to be able to get like the cards they need. So here comes the new Searcher. This new Searcher is just one of the best cards they've like ever printed for this deck, like 100%. You just scout a hero from your hand into the base in order to like get a base, including from the drop zone. Quite incredible there. So now he'll be able to activate his grade 2 base, Ias. Okay, so he's got the Darnia. He's got Badash. Badash is quite nice because with only 1 damage to his name, he's going to want the counter charge and he's going to keep pushing. So that, I mean, shoot. He had to put in an order card through this effect, so he can't use Darnia's search effect, but something tells me he already has another base to work with, if that's the case. Because otherwise, yeah. I mean, yep, and there it is, okay. So now he'll be able to get even more into the base there. This is looking quite good for Duck right now. Duck wants to capitalize. So, because that's the thing, even though he's going second, he still has time, right? Drajeweld is a fairly slow strategy. So if he can like do a lot of damage here, he may be able to finish off Drajeweld for Ignis anyway. It all depends on Drageweld's hand, and if it's able to farm up the correct cards to farm other resources up. All right, so now he's going to be putting in some cards into the base there. Okay, that's he's got the Darnia in there. Now he's going to be basing the other Searcher he added from the hand off the base into the base. Take a shot every time I say base in order to draw a card from Boston.
That's pretty phased of him.
Alright. Now, it's looking quite lonely out here in the field, but not only can he call from the hand, he has, yep, and here it is. Here comes the skill of base. Now, base can discard any card of his choosing from the hand, and he chooses that, which is good because his grade 1 order can put it back into the base, where he needs to scout it for the skill of Stately Closer for multi-attack, so that was good anyway. Alright, now he's got Darnia here, and Ias is going to activate, and clearly he's going to be putting in the Diabolos into the base there, so this is a very self-sufficient system. I would imagine that Heroes is benefiting massively from like the latest support wave that it got, right? Because it really solved a lot of problems that Heroes had both in consistency and in making a good, like, perfect circle play pattern. Alright, Badash is coming on down. Now, Badash is a Bulba Mine, but it's a 10k Bulba Mine, so it's just slightly better, but you need to have a base for it. Now we're going 10 on 10, so this is, and Michijul's immediately taking, no good damage check there, that's a little bad. That's a little bad for him. Alright, and now we're seeing another attack, and Wire Closton's coming on down. Well, all this deck filtering, this might be a bit scary. No. Oh, we're seeing the Directorial. Okay, that's good. As we know, Duck has a little bit of problems finding Directorial, and there's a defensive there. Okay, so now a defensive can help out here. Let's see, is there a Bolt Salos? And yeah, there's a Bolt Salos there, so he can still pressure for another 20k off of Darnia. And he's just taking another damage. Okay, he's just taking it.
Wow.
He just doesn't care right now. That's fascinating to me. I wonder why he's doing it this way.
Maybe he's building up CB for the late game, and in a way to also kind of heal deny Duck for a majority of the late game.
It's possible.
Potentially.
Oh shoot, damage count is already 4-1. See, this is what I'm talking about, right? If the opponent doesn't see the correct damage check and cards in hand, they can just inflict a lot of grit. Michijul is taking again. Whoa! Wow. That's a massive risk. Okay. So, alright, this is what I'm saying here, right? Sometimes, depending on the hand, heroes just can't do it. But now, the benefit for Michijul is that he's got basically all the hand in the world for this upcoming turn.
Yeah, and basically being at 5 damage just basically says no heals for Duck for a majority of the game, unless Duck is going to risk taking damage.
Okay, discarding a front trigger from the hand, that's a potential defensive card he could have used there. And now, it's time. Drajeweled, Mahor, Drajeweled. Alright, and now with skill, you'll be able to get a draw and soul charge. Mahor,
I'm using the
counterblasting 1, soul charging 2. Oh, and it's a whiff. Oh no!
The worst possible
And he whiffs by getting the over trigger in there too. Oh, that's so bad.
The Dark 6 experience, people.
Yeah, he has to really suffer through this, unfortunately. Soul charging a PG as well.
PG.
All the Drajewel's defenses are offline now. Oh
my god.
And calling a call of a Varpula, it sounds like he just has to at this point. Drajewel's going for 13k, he can't even use its skill anymore. Oh, that's unfortunate.
Because it doesn't have different grades.
He doesn't have the 3rd grade. He doesn't have the grade 3. And the grade 3 is coming in there to mock him now all of a sudden. The damage check is just a PG. Oh, I mean, wow. That is just unfortunate.
Oh, interesting though. But here's the thing though. Can Duck capitalize on this next turn though?
Michijul's going 60 on the Vanguard. He's just simply going to keep attacking and giving counterblast
and
over
Duck
to
just takes it.
Duck, well, of course Duck takes it. Duck wants to counterblast because if he has all the amassed Darnia that he's been amassing over in the base here, and also he can get one back for the drop zone. So what he can do now is he can keep multi-attack poking with Darnia. Oh, frick.
Duck announces
final turn.
He announced his final turn already. Wow.
Right. Slaughtered. I use a base skill, rest this, discard 1, then I'll call out this guy. Actually, no, I'll keep you in there, and I'll call out Darnie. Darnia's skill, Soul Blast 1. Then I discard a card.
Discarding a PG, alright. Bold.
When he said final turn, he really meant it then.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with Duck here, but just like how low the quantity of cards in Michijul's hand is, and the fact that he just bricked so hard on those soul charges. It's bad. It's really bad. Like, he's probably going to need to hit consecutive heal triggers or something. With one heal already out, that's quite unlikely here. Oh, man. It's so unfortunate. Drajeweld had gone such a long way up until this point, but, you know, bricking can always come for people. We can always brick in the game of Vanguard.
Oh, and a new base and another base being played.
Yep, another base for more deck filtering. This is going to be quite big.
3 Darnia.
Ah, Darnias. Okay, so he's going to go for the big Darnia poke. Now, where this gets now this may not seem too devastating at first glance, but the thing that really gets Darnia here is if he goes into Dianos, Darnia can benefit from the power up skill of Dianos to front row rear guards. So it'll be a 15k poke every time.
Yep. So just kind of like what we saw with the Zorgo match, like a few weeks ago. Just like those little pokes can sometimes just go a long way because they'll just eat away at the resources. And with Dragel being at 5 damage.
Alright, Michijul saying he ain't giving up to the bitter ends. Very well. Now, I would expect no less from the Deluxe participant.
I'll add this. Yeah. Don't worry, man. It's gonna be a nice thing. Add this to my hand. Rest this. Put another Darnie to soul. I mean, the base, not soul. See what I mean? All. Oh, this is good.
Alright.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's a good full formation right here. Heroes, it's time to shine.
Okay, Vanguard?
He's starting off with 20. He's guarding and intercepting. Okay.
Alright, so it's gonna be 13k to your Vanguard.
13k, okay. Guarding for a 2 to pass, it looks like. Not bad.
2 to pass, okay. At the drive, no trigger. Can check.
Heal trigger. That doesn't go off for the heal, but the power could still be nice here.
Yeah, the power definitely can help.
Get the power to Darn. Actually, no. I'll give the power to this guy. Skill of Boreal. Soul Blast 1. move Darnia.
All right. The classic Aqua
Then I
Force
use
play
Vanguard
pattern to
skill.
exchange positions.
Free every item. And then my front row rear guards get. Oh, also put these into soul, obviously.
And putting him into the actual soul, not the base oddly called soul.
Okay, my front row rear guards get plus 5k power. Alright, 15k Vanguard.
And this is where the Darnia pokes section. There's just probably not physically enough cards in Drajeweled's hand. He's going to have to take here just to hope for heal triggers. If he can get heal triggers, he can at least shut off Darnia.
Oh,
But
that's asking, yeah.
it's still nasty. It's still real bad for him.
Yeah.
Oh, he's guarding anyway? Oh, okay. That's unexpected.
Darnia skill. Oh, another Darnia.
Yeah, and this can just keep happening because he keeps having counterblast. Oh, Mijijul may not be prepared for this one. Yep, and he just no responses. And that's game. Ooh, GG's there. Unfortunately, despite how momentous the matchup was, it just came down to a good old-fashioned RNG stomp. It happens sometimes here, ladies and gentlemen. Poor Drajel just did not see the cards, having to soul charge constantly into incorrect cards, not seeing the grade 3 and losing out on like key over trigger, heal trigger, crits. Like, oh man, he's actually got like the quartet, not even a quartet, the quintet of bad soul charges, PG and like 4 different triggers.
Yeah, and the OT on top of that. It's just like,
Yeah.
you know, yeah.
It's unfortunate, but you know what else can you do, right? Sometimes it happens that
so
way.
true.
It seems like fate has ordained that Drajeweld may fall here, which means that Heroes here now has to fight. Well, I'm not gonna say it here because by the time of this recording, it's still not. No one still knows the outcome of the Blame vs. Rezile match, but once they do, no matter what, Heroes has got a daunting foe ahead of them, and it looks like this is quite thematic as well in its own way. 2 huge Dark State bosses and 2 heroic entities having to face their respective challenges, and both of them being able to do so quite handily. And now that we've done so, let's see here. I think we're gonna have to say one thing. What do you think about this match arc? Like, I've already gave my thoughts on it. It was thematic in a sense, a little disappointing on the action, unfortunately, but you know, it just happens.
Right, and as you said, the soul charge RNG, the one match where he needed the RNG to kind of just work in his favor, it just didn't work. And I guess to use a phrase you would always like that you use a lot, Josh, I guess you could say it was fate in a way, potentially, that maybe things happen in this sort of way. But at the same time, though, I think also that risk that Michi took of pushing himself to 5 damage, it kind of backfired in him in this kind of scenario too, because if he kept himself at maybe like 4 damage, he could have afforded maybe 1 hit. But then again, though, as we see with heroes, they have the capacity to hit 6, 7, 8 times a turn, and the moment they get to Diabolos, then that extra 5k just gives them that magic number to just force a guard every single hit. And overall, though, I think, yeah, I guess it would be as you would say. Sometimes it is, in a way, maybe this result was fate. Maybe the fighter that came out of nowhere, the background character that decided, who is now in the limelight, he stepped into the ring, knew full well what he was up against, did the best he could to prepare, and now he's entering the ring for one final round, that round 12, the last fight, and now it's going to come down to the 2 fighters in the finals of Deluxe of who wants it more.
That is going to be a treat to watch. I hope anyway, right? I hope. After this round, I'm a little like, oh no. I mean, but it's almost like kind of comedic as well, given the intensity of like all the top 8s, right? To have this happen to a fighter this late in, it feels almost tragic. But at the same time, I mean, heck, you know, it is still the game of Vanguard, so like sometimes we can just have to deal with like weird, like one-sided RNG stomps. But having said that, though, I still enjoyed the match for what it was, and I hope you and the audience did as well. So if you're looking forward to seeing how Deluxe ends in the finals of Deluxe, the top 2 players are going to be going head-to-head to determine who is the champion of Deluxe. If you're looking forward to that, even just a little, then subscribe and turn on the handy-dandy notification bell so you don't miss out on when I upload that faded video. But if you're looking for other Vanguard content in the meantime, then look no further. We've got top 10s, discussions, fight nights, custom card reviews, anime reactions. The anime new season's coming up in the beginning of July, so you don't want to miss that either. Then go ahead and check those videos out. And with that said, take care and God bless y'all.